Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Maki's Closet. On today's tutorial, I'll be sharing with you a requested video of how to draft and sew an underbust corset backless gown. So if it's your first time being my channel, please hit on the subscribe button, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always supporting my channel. So let's start.
So the first thing I'm going to do is to start working on this part, on the front part, and I cut out 2 pieces for the front part also. So for you to cut, you're going to go ahead to add ½ inch on top for joining by the side, and you're going to add ½ inch underneath it, and you're going to take note of that point. So why my pattern is a little bit big is because I went ahead to spread this part a little, about 2.5 inches, sorry, about 0.25 inches apart from each other. So next I'm going to bring the lower part of my dress, and this is what I have. Remember, just like I said when I was cutting out this pattern, I said I was going to fold this part over before cutting out my back pattern. So this is it. I went ahead to fold it over, and I added 1 inch. So I'm just going to fold up the back with half when I am stitching on it. For the back also, I cut out 2 pieces for this. And for the front part, I went ahead to close up the dart, and I traced it just like I said. I traced the sides down to the other parts of the dress. Now we are going to start working on the front pattern. So I'll go ahead and open it up. So after opening it up, you notice you have a pointy edge. That is that part that we went up by 2 inches. So I'm just going to fold it so that it's going to be visible for you to see. So what I'll do is I'll just go up and fold with ½ inch on top of that part. So after I'm done stitching it, this is what I have. Now we'll be introducing this upper part of our pattern on the dress. So if you notice, I cut out 2 pieces of this. So now I'll start joining the upper part of this to the lower part of my dress. So what you're going to do right now, you're going to take note of this pointy part on the upper part that you cut out, and you're going to place it on that upper point. That is that point we went up by 2 inches if you watched the drafting video. So you're going to place it at that point, take out a little on top, like about 0.2 inches, or you can go ahead and mark half. Now you're going to start pinning this right on the body of the lower part of the dress. And when you're pinning on this side, please bring out or take out a little pinch at the outer part. Now we are going to start pinning this. So I'm just going to take my pin and I'll pin, place, and I'll pin. So I'll continue pinning it. So you notice on the ending part of this dress there's a little ruffle. So I'm just going to fold my material like this little, and I'll pin it down to create that little ruffle. So, and also I'll fold again to create that little ruffle, and I'm going to pin. Then I'll go ahead to pin the rest of the pattern. So after pinning it, this is what I have on this part. And next I'm going to bring the other part. You can go ahead and sew this down if you want to, and then attach the back, but I'm going to do that at the second part. I'll be showing you how to stitch it together at once. Then I'm going to pick up the next fabric, which will be serving as my lining. So when I was cutting, I mistakenly chopped up that part, but it's not going to affect the dress because it's going to be at the back of the dress. So now I'm going to place it and make sure it aligns, and I will take note of that pointy part again, and I'm going to place it on this part, and I will start pinning it down again. So I'm just going to continue pinning it till I get to the end, and I'm also going to take note of that ruffle at the side. So just continue pinning till you get to the end of the fabric. So after I'm done pinning down, this is what I have on this part. So the next step I'm going to do right now is to go ahead and I'm going to stitch. So after I'm done stitching on this side, this is what I have. and I'm just going to open it up to show you. You can go ahead to notch. So remember I told you to leave about half or 0.5 in front. So this is it at this point. So we are going to use that point to stitch on this part of the upper part. You're going to flip it to this side and you're going to continue your stitch from here, and you stitch down. So after I'm done stitching, this is what I have on this side. Now we'll be stitching up this side. To stitch up the side, you're going to fold it over this way, and that ½ inch I said you should leave by the side also, you're going to go down and you're going to stitch with ½ inch down to the armhole area of this dress. So after you're done sewing, this is what I have, and we'll be moving over to the other side of the dress. So now I'm going to bring in that pattern. But before that, this is what the back part of the dress looks like. Bringing over the other side, you're going to go ahead and you're going to take note of that pointy part also, and you're going to place like 0.2 or 0.5 inch away from that center point, and then you're going to start pinning your pattern. You're going to start pinning from that point down to the sides of your dress, and don't forget also you're going to create a ruffle by the side, and you're going to bring out your material at the bust part about 0.5 inch at the other side. So after I'm done pinning this part of this dress, this is what I have, and next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and I'm going to stitch it with ½ inch at this point. So after I'm done stitching this, like sewing it separately, I'm just going to go ahead and I will pin up the back of this pattern just the same way I pinned the front, and I'm going to go ahead to stitch the sides, and I'll stitch the neckline also just like I did for the front. So now that I'm done pinning, this is what I have, and I'll go over to the machine and I'll stitch with ½ inch. So on the neckline, just like I said, I'm going to stitch it up at the neckline of this part and then stitch the armhole of the dress. So after I'm done stitching, this is what I have, and next I want to attach this to the back of the dress. So I'm just going to, this is about 26 inches long and the width is about 4.5 inches. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and I will place it this way, stitch it round, and then turn it up and fold the mouth, and I'll repeat the same process for this. So after doing that, by the side, I'll go ahead and fold in with ½ inch by the side this way, about 3 inches down, and on this part I'm going to fold again because I'm going to be stitching the hand down at that point. So now after I'm done is to place and stitch, and I'm going to go ahead to place it, and you're just going to place it this way. Make sure the stitched part is at the center, and I'll stitch with ½ inch. At this point I'm going to place and stitch with ½ inch also. So going back to the down part of my dress, I'm going to go ahead to fold up the upper part this way, and I'll also fold up the upper part of the dress with ½ inch. So after I'm done stitching, this is what I have on this part. Now I went ahead to stitch up the lower part of the back, and I will insert zipper at this part, but I just went ahead to hold it down with my pin. So I'm going to fold up this fabric this way, and before I sew down my back, I'm going to make sure the back and the front is of the same length. So I'm just going to place this to take note of where my back is going to start. So it's going to start immediately after my belt. Then I'm just going to go ahead and place this down, and I will bring out that 1 inch that is meant for my zipper allowance out this way, and then I'll place the rest at the back. So while placing it, I noticed that the back pattern is a little bigger than what I have in the front, because when I was cutting this fabric, it was a bit difficult and it was just shifting. Now I'm just going to go ahead to mark out that point. So I'll just go ahead and place it down, and I will make sure it aligns, and from that point I'm just going to trace it, and I'm going to go ahead to cut out this part that I am tracing, because it is a lot bigger than what is meant to be. So I'll just go ahead and cut it out. So after I'm done tracing out, what I'm going to do right now is to place the back pattern on it. So to place the back pattern, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this front pattern, and to know where my back pattern will start, you know, it starts the back pattern starts immediately that pattern in front. So I'll just take my back pattern and I'm going to place it on it, and I've gone ahead to stitch it up with 1 inch, and at the zipper part I held it down with pin. So I'll insert my zip at that part, and I'll just go ahead and stitch it 1/2 inch to I get to the lower part. So on the lower part of this dress, after I'm done stitching the side, on the lower part I'm going to turn it up with a bias, or you can just go ahead and leave it and stitch and then weave it. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to start sewing the upper part of the back, and this is what the back looks like, and I've gone ahead to attach my zip at the lower part. So moving up to the upper part, we are going to use this pattern to turn it. So on the pattern I cut out, I went ahead to add 1/2 inch round. So this is the back pattern. This is what I have. I added 1/2 inch round in front of it and at the neckline, and I also cut out 2 pieces for each side. So what I'm going to do right now is on that part I added 1/2 inch, I'm going to stitch it with 1/2 inch, and I'm going to stitch up the neckline. I'll leave the shoulder and the armhole area. So I made a little strip of material that I'll be using as my loop at the back, and I'll just insert it. So going over, this is the sleeve of the dress. So on fold I have 20 inches, which is 10 inches. On fold is 10 inches, so totally I have 20 inches. So I'm just going to make a freehand sketch sleeve. So please, if you have enough material, you can go ahead and make your sleeve a lot bigger than mine. I ran short of fabric, and I didn't even attach pockets to the dress. I was supposed to do that, but I don't have enough fabric. So what I'm just going to do right now is to cut it out. So the total length of what I used is about 14.5 by 20 inches, which is on fold, giving you 10. So I'm done turning out the back, and this is what I have. So I was supposed to iron it, but because they took the light, so I could not iron it again. So please do well to iron yours, okay? So this is what I have right now, and I will be attaching it to the front part of the dress. Now to attach mine, I'm going to place it this way, and I'm going to take one of the back and I'm going to place, and I'll use the back to wrap the front and stitch with 1/2, and on the other side I'll use the back to wrap the front, and I'm going to place it and stitch with 1/2 at the shoulder line. So after I'm done stitching, this is what I have. So this is what the back is looking like. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, stretch it out and place it on the front pattern. Now what I'll do is just to chop out the excess on it this way, and I'll just go ahead and place this on it, stretch the back out, and I'll cut out the excess I have on that side. So this is what I'll be having on this back pattern. So now going back to the sleeve, I'm going to attach the sleeve, and don't forget to notch the center. So I went ahead to fold the lower part of the sleeve because I will be attaching the sleeve on it. So I'll just go ahead and place my sleeve and sew around to the edge, and at the upper part of the sleeve I'm just going to fold and make a little ruffle at that part, and I'll just sew to the end of my other sleeve. Going to this part, I'm also going to place it, and I'm going to go ahead right side facing right side, and I'm going to fold and make a little ruffle at the joining at the shoulder and take it down to my armhole. So at the lower part of the dress, I'm just going to go ahead to turn it up with bias or weave it, whichever one is okay with you. So after I'm done attaching the sleeve, this is what I have. After I'm done attaching my sleeve, this is what I have. And next thing is to stitch it up. So at these rough edges at the sleeve side, you can as well weave it out to make it neat also. So at this part that I sewed, I'm going to pass my elastic. So after passing my elastic, I'm going to hold it up together this way, and I'm just going to go ahead and stitch with 1/2 inch down to where the armhole stopped. On this part, I'll pass my elastic to place it together this way, and I'm going to stitch with 1/2 inch on this side. So this is the final look of the dress, and with this we have come to the end of today's tutorial. Please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, and see you in our next video. And don't forget to drop your comments at the comment section. Thanks.